Senior leadership. Guys are focused very much on UMass and UMass only. So every postseason is a one-game season. So we have a win or go home mentality right now.
Is there a different answer to the secret sauce to the Spiders getting to the final every year?
Nope. Nope. Same routine. We have a bit of a recipe that we adhere to every year. Admittedly, it's just keeping it simple, so not overcomplicating things.
Is there a way that Richmond doesn't make the NCAA tournament?
Yeah. So I'm the type, I don't dive into that stuff. Admittedly, I think it's a waste of time because it changes every year, the way the selection criteria is going, how they're exactly going to interpret your wins and losses. So if you want to drive yourself crazy, you can do that. Anybody close to me knows that I like to we take care of our business, and if we do that, we can sit in that room and on Sunday and feel confident. But we still have a lot of work to do, and to be able to sit in that room confidently and know that our name is going to be called. And I like that mentality. That's how we've done it every year. If we're controlling our own destiny, then that's enough for us.
How did you keep Connor Knight on campus when so many young people would move on to something else if they lost their starting job?
Are you talking about like years ago?
Well, 2 years ago.
Yeah. So what year was that? That would have been Connor's sophomore year, maybe. Was that 24? Was that 23? 24. Connor started the first game for us, but Connor knew that we had Zach Vigu coming back, who had started for a couple of years, and both goalies knew that it was a competitive position. Both goalies knew that the other one was plenty capable of playing. Connor was great between the pipes. Connor had other pieces on the field and off the field that he was working on from a growth standpoint. Connor, they both performed admirably, and we ended up just going with a guy who'd had a little bit more experience. It was nothing that Connor did poorly or anything like that. And we knew we had a great goalie, which is why last year we had seen such great growth from Connor all over the place, where honestly it was a compliment to him to ask him to redshirt. We knew what he was capable of. We wanted him to be able to get the most years as a starter because of all the hard work that he puts in. And the growth that I've witnessed with Connor off the field has been significant. And there's no doubt there's a correlation between how you handle things off the field and how you handle things on the field, adversity in particular. So we're really proud of Connor. He is getting everything that he deserves because of all the hard work that he's put in. So honestly, you keep him on campus by letting him know that you care about him and you're here, for his growth overall. So certainly not every day is sunshine and rainbows, and a lot of our guys have experienced that. And I'm just really proud of who Connor is. I told him in our pregame meal before the High Point game, just the way he was cleaning up the room afterwards. I just reiterated to him how proud I am of him. I'm just, he's good. He's a good man for sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
You mentioned about taking one match at a time and controlling your destiny. Has it been easier to instill that with this group and having them guard against not looking too far ahead at the end of the rainbow?
I think it's been easier just because it's a really mature group. We've got a lot of seniors. There's a lot of trust between the coaches and those guys. So the messaging that we communicate with each other every week, that they're not just hearing it, but they're going to apply it and they're going to live it. So it's a really focused group. It's a really fun group to coach because they're focused. There's just, when you have that kind of trust, it just makes for a lot of fun. So it all has to do with the maturity of our seniors.
How much better is the team since the Notre Dame match?
It's some things definitely better, but it's like anything else. If to be able to focus on every single part of the game and keep getting better is difficult. So inevitably, if you're going to keep things efficient on the field, you got to make some decisions where we're going to focus on this or we're going to focus on that. And then what happens is you neglect one area because you were focused on another, and then that area becomes something you have to work on. So it's a bit of a balancing act throughout the course of the year. I think we're better in a lot of ways. But you're really only as good as you play on game day. So we'll find out on Thursday, if we've improved and if we're ready.
Coach, you guys have already beat UMass pretty handily this season and beat them in the semis, last season as well in the tournament. What do you kind of expect to? Does that give you guys some sort of confidence going into Thursday? And what do you kind of expect to see from your group and from their group?
From their group, we expect to see a really gritty team, a team that's going to compete like crazy, a team that is good both between the lines and inside the boxes. Certainly there's some confidence that comes with that, but again, I hate to just keep saying the same thing. The leadership of the team is focused and understands that March 21st doesn't matter on April, whatever the date is, on Thursday. So the guys are going to show up. They're going to be ready to play. Both teams are. Nothing that's happened before Thursday is going to matter at Thursday at 4 o'clock. It's just how you play once the whistle's blown.
Obviously, you guys are also hosting the tournament this year. What does that kind of do for your guys as far as giving them, they don't have to travel, their rest for their bodies and everything, and also just the support of maybe their families or the home crowd here as well?
Yeah, not having to travel is certainly an advantage. Admittedly, there are advantages being both at home and on the road. So we've got to make sure we handle our business when we're not here at this facility, and that we're staying off our feet and we're just being smart and preparing the same way we would as we were on the road, putting the right stuff in our bodies, going to bed at time, at the right times, those things. When you're on the road as a coach, you've got your full control of all 50 guys' schedule. When they're at home, you don't quite have as much control. But again, there's a lot of trust with this group, and we'll be able to utilize certain things here at the University of Richmond on our campus to to have a home field advantage as best we can.
Hey, one last Connor Knight question. Do you
Yep.
like big goalies?
Yeah. So when you're an offensive player and you're sizing up the goalie and you're looking to get a shot, if there's less net versus more net, there's definitely a difference. So certainly we like big goalies. We like goalies who can move. Not every one of our goalies is big. If you're not big, you better be quick. But Connor's pretty athletic for his size. Zach had great footwork. Benny Pugh, long time ago. It's we like the big guys. We like the athletic guys for sure.